Hi, I'm Clinton.
And I'm Nikki, and we're here to share a glimpse of seasoned love.
The real, the rugged, and the romance.
We recently did our Q&A sessions, part 1 and 2.
Right.
And in the process had people writing in and asking questions. And we had several that we felt like would be a really good opportunity to take a full episode and expound
Some
on.
really good questions.
Yes. So today we are talking about our love story. It was a beautiful summer day. We were 12.
We were 12. And my dad had a picnic. It was a new church starting, and so they did a picnic. And some of the people that came were people from her neck of the woods, and she happened to be one of them.
Yes. So Clinton's dad was a pastor, and he was actually my pastor's pastor. So that's how the connection came for our churches to get together and have this picnic. We got laughing ducks in the background, so enjoy.
So let me tell you, there was no love at first sight. There was no even interest.
No.
I was 12.
I was too.
Yeah, boys at 12, we want to go play games and run around and pull girls' hair pretty much.
Right. And I have to say that I was very, very, very shy, quiet to myself.
Sure.
I pretty much hung out with the grown-ups.
Yep. Thinks it's funny.
So basically from there, we probably saw each other once a year
Yeah.
as our churches got together for different things. And it was kind of like, hey, how's it going? Hi,
That's it.
whatever. But then, when we were 16, we went to a church conference kind of a thing in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And my mom and my brother and I would, every summer we came to this conference. And Clinton and his dad happened to be there. Well, his mom was too, but they happened to be there doing the youth and young adult teachings.
I need to say something.
Okay.
During the years that it was like, hey, whatever, and no really connection between the two of us, I became friends with Nikki's mom. She helped with some of the music and so forth for the church. We got to know each other, but I never really got to know Nikki at all, just her
Because
mom.
I was shy.
Right.
Back to the summer church conference.
Right.
My mom and my brother and I are driving to Virginia for this conference. And on the drive, my mom says, Clinton's going to be there. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Well, she didn't just tell you once, though.
Oh, yeah, it was multiple times
Right.
talking about Clinton on the drive and
Right.
Clinton this and Clinton that. And I'm like, rolling my eyes, as teenagers do. So we arrive, and off in the distance, I see a young man with bleach blonde hair who is carefully and kindly escorting his mother up the steps to the cafeteria. And all of a sudden, I thought, Clinton's gonna be here. Maybe this is better than we thought.
Look here, boys, you want to make an impression on a lady, you treat your mama right.
That's right. Basically, it was a week-long conference. We just really hit it off friendship-wise.
Yeah.
We became fast friends. We spent time together, along with other people as well. But Clinton was doing some of the messages for the youth meetings. And so during our free time, he would ask me if I would listen to his message.
Make sure I knew exactly what I was talking about.
Give little pointers, whatever. I do remember one of your messages. It was about corn, peas, and beans.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
You
That's
reap
all.
what you sow.
Hold on, let's pause for a second. We got more traffic.
Hey, folks.
Hey, how are you?
How y'all doing?
We get better all the time. Yep. So, we played volleyball and
Pool.
pool. Yep. We went swimming.
Yep. Just had a really great week.
Yeah.
So we get to the end of the week, Saturday, it's time to go home our separate ways.
Right.
And I say, hey, let me have your address because we can write back and forth. It's going to be great.
Okay, so time out. This is where everybody throws me under the bus, but I need to give you a little heads up of what my life was like. Pretty much all the years growing up that I can remember, I would travel with my mom and dad to different conferences,
Yeah,
maybe,
church
right?
meetings, conferences.
I'd meet new people all the time and make friends
Usually girls.
because I knew how to talk. That's the only reason. True story. So, the thing that most people didn't know at that point in my life is that I struggled really, 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 really hard with dyslexia. And because I struggled with dyslexia, it was like pulling teeth for me to write things down. I had to kind of take a dictionary and go through every single word to make sure I was spelled right.
There was no spell check.
No, this is way before that.
Anyway, I asked him for his address to write letters, and Clinton said, well, you can write to me, but I don't write letters.
Because that's what I told everybody.
So I got his address anyway, because I was able to communicate on paper.
Yeah,
I had a very difficult time. I know you probably...
you'd never know it now. Because right now, I can't even get her to shut up.
But there was a day that I did not know how to verbally communicate. So for me to write a 2, 3, 4 page letter, oh, that's easy.
Thesis, whatever.
Because I just could pour out my feelings on paper very easily.
So she wrote me a letter. To say
I did. The
least.
day I got home, I wrote him a letter and put it in the mailbox.
We might have to move.
I think we're gonna have to move. So we were on vacation with my aunt and uncle camping.
You were on vacation.
Yes, my brother and I
Right.
were on vacation camping with my aunt and uncle. This will tell you the time frame we're in. So I used the payphone to call my mom long distance.
Just so you know, payphones they're in a little box.
Yeah,
or
it has a phone.
Yeah, you put money in it.
Yeah.
Some of you might not know.
My mother says, oh, hey, by the way, you got a letter in the mail from Clinton. I was like, open it and read it to me.
Okay, so I want to say that love came down and consumed my heart, and I felt this desire to write a letter when I normally never do that, and that's not what happened. So I need to give you the story of how that actually came about.
Yes.
My brother came into town, and we went and just were hanging out in my bedroom, and I had a bed with a headboard, and on the headboard it was kind of like a bookshelf, right? And so my brother plopped up on the bed and leaned against the headboard / bookshelf, and when he did, his head hit a big shoe box, right? Back in the day, when you got mail, it was really special.
It was something.
So I had a shoebox that was full of letters that I had gotten over the years from these conferences like we told you about
For
before.
birthday cards.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So my brother comes in, sits down, puts his head back, and he can't put his head all the way back. He reaches up, he's like, what's this? And he grabs this shoebox full of letters. And he pulls it down and he opens it up. And he's like, what are all these? And I'm like, they're just letters I got over the years, you know? And he's like, from who? I was like, well, there's some birthday or whatever, but a lot of them are just like letters from friends. He's like, have you written any of them back? No. No, I haven't written them back.
No.
He's like, you need to write some of them back. I'm like, no, I'm not interested in writing them back. Like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, yeah, you're going to write them back. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick one out, and whoever I pick, you're going to write back. I was like, fine, whatever. So he takes, I kid you not, he takes this shoebox full of letters and he dumps it on the bed. And he smashes them all around. He reaches one, he grabs it, and it's her letter.
Thank you, Michael.
So I said, that's easy, because that just happened. I just got a letter from her.
That just happened.
That's about what it says. Let me try again. At least I can remember who this was, right? It wasn't some person from when I
Long
was
ago, yeah.
8 or 9 years old or something like that. So anyhow, that's how
You
that
wrote me a
happened. I
letter.
wrote the letter.
Yes.
But I wrote it specifically just to like get him off my back. It wasn't necessarily in this great pursuit of relationship.
No. So I had my mother read me the letter and I was super excited. And on vacation, I wrote another letter and I sent it to him. So for, I think it was about a month and a half, 2 months maybe, we wrote some letters back and forth.
She started growing on me. That's what happened with the letters. She knew how to communicate really well
On
with
paper.
letters. And
Yeah.
it like
Was something.
reeled me right in.
There was something.
Yeah.
End of August that year, right before we started our senior year of high school, my mom and I drove to where Clinton lived, and at the time they had just moved from a different house, so we came to help clean and unpack and just help do some things. So we got to see each other in person and had some fun over lunch. Then at the end of our time of being there, Clinton kind of pulls me aside while, the others are chatting, and he says, I know it would be a long distance relationship, but would you consider, because we live 2 hours away from each other, would you consider dating? And I was like, yeah, okay. It was a long distance relationship.
and I was smitten at this point, by the way. Totally smitten.
And so was I. So we wrote letters back and forth, and we called each other on the weekends when you had to pay per minute to talk on the phone.
Right?
Every couple of months we got to see each other. We might meet halfway. There was a Denny's
Right.
restaurant
Right,
that
there
we
was.
met at
Yep.
that was halfway between our houses, and we'd go and have dinner, talk for a couple of hours, and then we'd drive home.
Right. You might not know this, and you might. It depends on how well you know us. I love to talk.
No. You've got to be kidding.
I have no problem filling up a conversation all by myself. Right?
See?
Right. This is back in the days, but I'm spending $80 a month in long distance charges for me to hear myself talk, because Nikki really didn't have anything to say. And then I was like, I don't really know much more about her yet, other than what I've read, right?
Right.
I needed to remedy that. So here's what I did.
And I wouldn't recommend this.
Please don't do
I
this.
wouldn't recommend this.
At least not this way.
We were 17. 4 or 5 months into our long distance relationship,
Right.
I get a little package in the mail.
Right.
So I open the package, and there is a ring box inside.
Okay.
I open it up, and there's a little note inside, and it had a penny in the slot where the ring goes.
Right.
No ring.
No ring.
There was a penny in the slot. So there was a little note inside that said, "A penny for your thoughts."
Right.
And so he said in the note, every time, you're going through your week, put this somewhere where you'll see it on your desk or whatever. And when you see it, get a piece of paper out and just jot down, what are you thinking?
Right.
So that Saturday night when we get to talk on the phone, then you get out your list of all the things that happened this week that you were thinking about.
Right.
And you'll have something to contribute to the conversation.
I didn't say it quite like that.
Well,
but yes, that was the intent.
That was the point. I thought that was a very romantic gesture.
And that's how it was meant to be. But it sure comes across weird, doesn't it?
Anyway,
Anyhow.
so we spent a little over 2.5 years dating long distance.
Right. 2 hours apart.
2 hours apart.
I went to a dance or two at her school.
Yes, homecoming. He
Yep.
came for homecoming and so forth. So we had a wonderful time dating and getting to know each other better. Clinton really helped me to learn lots of different ways how to communicate.
Right.
And so let's talk about that.
It's an interesting thing because lots of times people don't understand that people communicate differently. It's not that Nikki didn't know how to communicate at all. She did,
I just didn't know how to do it well verbally.
especially spontaneously.
Yes, conversationally.
Right. For instance, when she did have the paper that she experienced throughout the week, the conversations went really easy
Yes.
because she knew
I had something to go off of.
Right, exactly. Sometimes when you're going to have a hard conversation with your spouse in particular, maybe you need to write some things down first.
We don't all communicate the same way. So in our differences, let's just make room for one another.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is the story of how these two little birds met and formed a wonderful beginning to an even more wonderful relationship. So, hope you enjoyed our story. At some point, we will have to share the story of how this guy proposed because that's a doozy as well.
That's a funny one, yeah.
But that's more than we're going to share today.
Right.
So,
Hey, are you enjoying these videos? Would you consider letting somebody else know about them? Maybe they could subscribe and we could get some more out to you.